You better say your prayers, you flea-bitten varmint. I'm gonna blow you to smithereens.
You do that and I'll kill you.
Welcome to another show of Bullshitting with Bob right here on Brutiful Metal Radio. I've got independent drummer Joey Campo live via phone. How you doing, Joey?
Hey, what's going on, Bob? How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Still a little tired from our trip to Louisiana last week, but recovering quite well.
Very good. I heard about that, and my pleasure with your father and everybody, and I hope everything works out well for you.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a tough time, but the old man pulled through pretty good. He's tough as nails. Now,
is that me cutting in and out? Somebody's saying I'm cutting in and out. Or is that Bob?
Say again?
Somebody's saying refresh.
Oh, yeah, to hear the playback, you may want to refresh it. I had to reboot.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm just trying to follow this chat thing. People are saying that it's cutting in and out. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine.
Okay, then it's...
Look in the chat room.
Something with the computer, then. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. People are saying they hear us fine now.
Say that again? I'm
So,
sorry.
yeah, people are saying they hear us fine now.
Okay. I hear you fine. All right, let's see that.
Okay, now, currently you play in 3 bands, correct? Shadow's Edge, Greg Wood's Project, and Obsidian, right?
Yep, and there's a couple more coming in 2013.
Wow,
There's actually 3 more coming in 2013.
you are one busy guy.
Actually, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. There's 4 coming.
Wow.
I attention last night.
Right on. Now, if you would, Joey, give us a little background. What started you playing drums, and what made you specifically want to play in a metal band?
Well, when I was about 3 years old, there was this guy who I call Uncle Tom. And I was always fascinated by watching him play the drums, so I always wanted to play. And what happened was my grandmother went out to a little music store out there around me and bought me my first drum set, which is actually on the bottom of my Joey Campo page. That was my very first drum set on there.
Wow.
And I don't know, I was just playing ever since then. I was playing whenever I can as a little kid, just playing, driving everybody nuts in the house. And then kids fell into my lap. And I was just like, oh my God, who is this and where did this come from? I want to do this every day. And I always pretended I was in Kids. I did a lot of talent shows in school, and we played Kids, this, that, and the other thing, and it just stuck. It just stuck, and it's just something that always stood with me, and ever since I've seen Kids, that's where it started, and that was the type of music I always wanted to do. Then 80s hair metal came out, and it was just like, oh my God, here we go. And it was just fun. It was fun, and always fun, and something I love to do. But as people told me, I'm called the stage whore. I will play with anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Now,
and I will even do country if I had to, if it's going to get me on stage.
going back to Kiss, growing up, my parents both listened to country and western music, and that's the only music I knew about until 1978. And in 1978, my best friend, we were both 9 years old, and his older sister and her boyfriend, a few years older than us, quite a few years older than us, had won tickets to go see Kiss live, but they got stuck babysitting us, so they bought us tickets. And I went from knowing only country music to seeing Kiss on stage, full makeup, full show, live. And yeah, that was the turning point in my life right there too.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I just, for some reason, I forget what album it was. I seen an album in the store, and I'm like, what is this? I gotta check this out. And I couldn't even, I think it was just before Live came out. I think I'd seen Dressed to Kill.
Mm-hmm.
That was the album that was out, and I'm just like, I can suits and makeup, and what is this all about? And I had to get it, and I think that was one of the first albums I got, and it was just like, yeah, I begged, borrowed, and pleaded for the money to get the album. I mean, what were they back then? $5, $6, or whatever it was. And it was just like, oh my God, that was the definite turning point for me.
It's kind of, it's funny, back then, you remember they used to have the, oh hell, who was it? It was like in the back of the comic books and everything, you'd get the little deal for, it was like 10 albums for a penny or something.
Yes, you remember that? That was in a TV Guide, if I'm not mistaken. That was in a TV Guide and in something else.
Yeah, it was in a couple of them.
All of them record clubs that you join, and you wind up paying $100 in fees after you buy them 10 albums because you're locked into it.
Now, in fact, I think it was Reader's Digest that that had one of those. I found it, and this is after I saw Kiss. You know, I went and I got, it was Columbia House, matter of fact. It was get X amount of records back then, you know, LPs, for a penny. So I got every one of the Kiss albums. And of course they come to the house and my mom flips her wig. Number one, it's Kiss. Number two, you know, she's going to be the one paying for it.
Yeah, they wind up paying for it. It's funny, my mother, it was, oh my God, look at these devil worshippers, look at that guy with the tongue, this, that, and the other thing. Funny part is, her and Gene Simmons share the same birthday. August 25th. And that's the only reason why I know my mother's birthday.
That's awesome. Kiss, you know, Kiss was a huge turning point, and they were way ahead of their time back in the day. They really were. Now, have you heard the new Kiss album?
Yes, I did. It's actually, it's let's see, I think it's, I mean, one or two songs on it. I mean, when it comes to Kiss, I'm very surprised that they gave Tommy and Eric Singer as much freedom on this album, to where back in the day they didn't really give H. Lee and Peter Chris.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the album was good. Still, the greatest album in the world was the Destroyer album. I think that was like the ultimate album they ever came out with.
Mm-hmm.
And the new album, it's good. You know, I like the first song on it. I forget exactly what the name of it is. I actually went out and bought it. I listened to it a couple of times, and I haven't listened to it since. But it's okay. I mean, I think they've done better work prior to this album, but you know, everybody, I don't know how to say it.
Well,
it's a good album. I'll leave it at that.
I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. I mean, I've heard a lot more good than bad on this one. When Sonic Boom came out, you know, I was pretty stoked about it. I went and got it because I'm still a Kiss fan, and went and got the album. I wanted to, you know, they had live footage. The thing I hated about it was how overproduced it was. I mean, you could tell it was Pro Tooled. Of course, you know, they took the old songs and added, you know, Tommy and Eric in it, and it lost a little bit of its edge. You know, the rawness that Kiss had back in the day.
Well, that's why they went into the studio and they didn't do this new album. They did it just like they did the Destroyer album. They did it all on tape, and if I'm not mistaken, they did it on tape. They didn't do it with all Pro Tools. They wanted to go old school on this one, and I believe Paul produced it. If I'm not mistaken, Paul was the producer on it, the new album Monsters. So he wanted to go back to the original way of doing things back in the day. Actually, a lot of people from my kind of going back to going in, doing a 2-inch tape, and you know, going that route because a lot of people like the sound. They like the rawness to it, and that's what they're looking for now these days.
Yeah.
So do something different. Everybody's doing Pro Tools. I mean, everybody in the mother that's a musician, you know, has their own recording studio at home because they do it all through the computer.
You just don't get the that raw edge that you get when you use analog gear and tape and, you know, and things like that. There's something about being so hands-on when you record with tape that you can cut and tape stuff together, I don't know, it makes it mean a little something more than opening up a program and copy paste, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I honestly think the analog is a lot easier than digital. Digital gets way out of control for me, but that's why I'm only a drummer. I don't play with that stuff. I leave it to the people that know exactly what they're doing with it. I mean, all of that shit's great to me. I couldn't. It was funny. I went and seen Ted Nugent, and I was there prior to. I helped them load in and stuff, and I was watching their sound guy do sound check with a Pro Tools soundboard, and it was just like, what are you doing? I just sat behind him going, oh my God, look at this thing. And he was doing everything with a click of a mouse. It's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It actually looks a little harder than, you know, the Pro Tools, because our original sound guy, Rob, that works at the Chance where we play 95% of our shows, that's an animal. He's a maniac. They got an analog board there, and he's like one of the best sound guys I know of.
You know, now on the flip side of the coin, you know, I'll tell you that analog to me gets that warmer, raw edge. But with technology nowadays, it makes it a lot easier for these up-and-coming garage bands to really have a good sounding, you know, demo or an EP that they can shop out.
Yeah, no, that's good and everything, but you got to remember, if you're gonna do it at home and you're not paying for it, and that's fine and dandy. You're going to go into some major studio, and you're going to sit down, and you're going to do all of this digital stuff and the whole 9 yards, and you're going to invest all of this money into it just so you can try to get a record contract. 99% of the times, you're going to go into a studio, once you get signed, you're going to go into a studio, and they're going to take everything you just did, you broke your ass on doing, bring it to a producer, and they're going to redo it all anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, unless you're doing it for your own collection, and that's fine. You know, you follow what I'm saying?
I do.
But if you're going to do it to shop, for shows and stuff like that, then that's fine and dandy. But if you're doing it to send out to record companies to get a record deal, sometimes you're wasting your money, sometimes you're not. But 99% of the time, they're going to bring you into the studio, they're going to have a producer sit down, and you're going to wind up hating half the shit you're doing. Because the record company is nothing like they were back in the day. These days, the 360 deals that they're getting right now, it's a nightmare. I really feel bad for any band that really gets signed to a major label. It's crazy. It's crazy because you wind up owing out more money than you're going to bring in 3 years. You follow what I'm saying? And
yes.
The only money you're going to make is off of your merchandise. Everything else goes back to the record companies. It's sad. And today, I'll tell you, I wish I was working as hard on music when I was 18, like I am doing now, because it would have been so much easier, because it was back in the heydays when everybody was getting signed, this, that, the other thing. Yeah, people were getting robbed, but not like they get today. Forget about it. And that's why I'm just doing this for the love of it, and, you know, I'm not making no money doing it, and it's just something I love to do. And it's just sad that the kids out there today, and there's a lot of talented kids out there today. The kids I see at shows, the younger kids, excuse me, I get blown away by them. And it's just like, I feel bad for them. I hope they're doing it for the love of it, because if you're trying to get a record contract, unless you go independent, you know, and just come up with your own label and the whole 9 yards, and then, you know, just try to get distribution, and it's just everything. It's too crazy with money. Too crazy. You need $200,000 just to get your music airplayed. If you're an unsigned band, it's ridiculous. Believe me, I looked into every angle of this business, and it's worth it, but it could be worth it, but sometimes you just got to do it because you love it.
That's true. One thing I wanted to bring up before I lose my train of thought here, you know, there are a lot of great musicians out there nowadays. In fact, I interviewed Steve Zetro Souza a little over a month ago, vocalist formerly of Exodus and now of Hatriot.
Yeah.
And, you know, talking about how incredible these kids are. He has his two sons playing in the band. And the younger son is the drummer, and oh my God, is the dude incredible. He's a machine.
Oh, yeah.
And the kid's 18.
Oh, yeah, without it. Hey, let me tell you something. There are kids out there, I sit there and I watch them play the drums, and it's just like, I feel like a 2-year-old. Sometimes I feel like I don't even deserve to hold a pair of sticks next to some of these kids. There's some of the stuff that they pull out with their feet doing a million miles an hour. It's just like unbelievable.
And they do it effortlessly. That's the thing that gets me.
They do it effortlessly, like it's nothing. Like they do this every 5 minutes. Like they came out from birth. They were doing this, and it's like, oh my God. It's
unbridled talent, man. It's amazing, you know. And the thing that you really think about, I mean, these kids are great now. How about in 30 years, you know?
Yeah. They're going to be phenomenal. I mean, I look at some of these little kids on YouTube that are like 6 years old, and they're playing, and they're holding a beat. I mean, people are literally holding them up on a drum stool, but they're playing. It's freaking amazing, some of these kids. 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. I get blown away. I get blown away. By the time they're 10, I don't know what else they could learn, or what more they can do. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. But I give them all the credit in the world. I wish I had half that talent.
Well, you know, out of this bunch of kids, we'll end up getting our next Neil Peart, you know?
Buddy Richards.
Yeah. We'll get that next phenomenon that'll take music to that next level, and it's getting to that point again. You know, it's been hell, damn near 20 years now, really, since anybody has stepped up the level of musicianship that we had back in the late 80s, early 90s. You know, with the virtuosity on the instruments and everything like that. There's been a few here and there, but no one person or one band that really stepped in and gave music the kick in the butt that it needs. And out of this next group of kids, I think we're going to find that next person.
Yeah, well, I heard 2 bands that took me by surprise, and one of them was Avenged Sevenfold, which got the drummer's soul. That kid was phenomenal.
He was.
Before he passed away. And then there was another drummer to the band Fozzy.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, I do.
Chris Jericho's band, his drummer, I don't know what his name is off the top of my head, but I listened to that album. It was funny. I was actually coming home from a show with Eddie Ojeda from Twisted Sister,
mm-hmm.
and we were listening to what the hell's his name? The big disc jockey that got the metal show. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank here.
Oh, you talking about Eddie Trunk?
Yeah, so we listened to Eddie Trunk, and they had him on there, and I was listening to the music, and I was just like, oh my God, listen to this guy play the drums. Oh my God, I mean, phenomenal, dude. I could not believe it. I was just blown away. That was the first time in a long time I heard something. I went out the next day and bought the album just so I could listen to the whole thing.
Now, talking about Avenged Sevenfold, the wife and I, we went through Katrina and ended up moving to Las Vegas, which is where my wife's from. That's where Buffy's from, Las Vegas. And we happened to go check out Avenged Sevenfold for their Cities of Evil tour at the House of Blues in Las Vegas. Yeah. And I had heard a couple songs by them on the radio, and I was like, you know, okay, we'll check these guys out, you know. Had a friend of ours band that was opening the show. And I was totally blown away by them live. Avenged Sevenfold puts on an excellent show. They do not lack in showmanship, musicianship, anything. I mean, their show is visually stunning and sonically stunning the whole way through.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I actually did, they were on tour with a whole bunch of other bands. It was called I forget what tour it was, but they wound up coming through my town, and it was them and a bunch of other bands, and I was just like blown away listening to them at soundcheck and just watching the show. I was just blown away by them. They really took me by surprise. What an amazing bunch of guys. Again, God rest the drummer's soul who passed away, and the new drummer, I tell you what, he's got a big set of shoes he's got to fill.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had to get Mike Portnoy in there to follow him up. That's saying something.
Say that one more time. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said they had to get Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater to fill in his shoes.
Did somebody take his place again? He's not in there no more, and they got another guy.
Yeah.
Another phenomenal drummer too from Dream Theater. That was another band that took me by surprise too.
Now, I'm not too sure who their new drummer is, but yeah, he's definitely got his licks down.
Oh yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you, talk about some of your earlier career, some of the bands that you've worked with.
That I played in?
Yes.
Alright, Shadow Dead is like one of the longest bands I've been in. I've been in that band for 14 years. Prior to that, it was a couple of hit and miss bands that we were trying to put together in the city. Nothing major or anything like that. A couple of one-off shows here and there, but it was nothing really major. I don't know, I did a lot of stuff all on my own, just, playing wise and just practicing my butt off and stuff like that. And then, the couple of bands that I was in at that time, I put it to this way, I don't even know the names of them. I don't even think we got as far as giving names to the bands.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was just throwing together stuff, friends getting together, jamming and stuff like that, and everybody wanted to be a rock star, and then the women came into play, and, the band went out the window because this one had to be Lou's girlfriend, and that. It was just, it was just crazy days, and I was just a deity in the house just banging on the drums, you know what I mean? So, and then what happened? Not on a sad note, I wound up losing my son. He passed away on me, and I gave up playing for a little while, for a few years.
That's understandable, and sorry to hear that. My condolences.
Thank you. And a friend of mine, Marty, he was in a band that I was helping out. I'm not going to bring up the name of the band, this, that, or the other thing, but he was in a band, and I used to help him out from time to time, and something happened with his drummer, and he came up to me and goes, listen, we just put together a band that's called Cheap Free. You want to try out for it? I'm like, at the time, I looked at my wife, I'm like, do you mind if I go try out for this band? Well, that one didn't come back and bite her in the ass. So, I went and did the audition, I got in, and the Shadow Dead was originally called T3.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was rehearsing 3 nights a week, writing all brand new material. We wrote like 40 songs. I mean, out of all the 40 songs, I think we played maybe 20 of them. And I mean, we were in the studio three nights a week, and then we started getting out there playing. So then it was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we were in rehearsals. Then it went to Saturdays. We had to switch rehearsals because we had started getting shows on Fridays. Then it was Thursday night show, Friday night show, Saturday night show. And that was just like the mind-blowing thing for me. This band took off and blew up like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it got to the point to where me and my singer at the time, Tommy Diana, actually went down and had a whole full showcase set up for us to get signed. We were within centimeters of getting signed. It was crazy. We were right there, and push come to shove, and one thing led to another. The bands, we wound up losing our bass player for reasons which I don't want to discuss right now. And,
that's fine.
It sort of like just took us totally backwards, and the band was just hit and miss for years after that. And then now I finally got everybody back together. I mean, my friend Greg Woods, not to jump around from story to story, but my friend Greg Woods, before his band got together, I was actually at the chance, a friend of mine's band, Hindenburg, which is a bunch of good friends of mine, actually. The bass player is actually in the band Zebra, and the drummer used to play drums for Ace Frehley all the time. So these guys are all good friends of mine, and this kid Greg, I seen him around here and there, and we got into talking. He took me into the CD. I'm like, all right, what are you gonna do with the CD? He goes, I'd like to play out a little bit and do things with it. I said, all right, so we'll put together a band. And from that moment on, you know, me and him were playing, and Shadow's Edge was on the back burner, but it was still simmering. And we started playing, and then out of nowhere, you know, a couple of rehearsals, I should say like 10 rehearsals, and a couple of lineup changes. We got the whole band together, and we went pretty much through the summer banging shows out left and right. And a little over a year ago, I got a couple of other my friends together. It was actually the original, one of the bass players that was in Shadow's Edge. I was in another band called Disorderly Conduct, and I grabbed the guitar player from that, and then my original guitarist from Shadow's Edge, I grabbed him. So I'm like, guys, let's put together a band for shits and giggles. You know, let's go have some fun and do something different. So I took out of those three guys plus me, we went to the studio, we started fucking around with some things, and then my bass player Dino turns around and goes, well, let's put an audition to singers. And we're all like, oh, no problem. He had a couple of guys set up to come in, he had a couple of girls set up to come in, and it's like, girls, huh? This is going to be a little different. It was a little shaky at the time, and then our singer came in, Terry Knight came in, and you know, shocked everybody, and she was the permanent part of the band from that point on. And so between the Obsidian thing, the Greg Woods thing, now the Shadow's Edge thing, and a couple of things I got set up for in 2013. Let's just say 2013, I think is going to be a very, very busy year for me. If I don't throw up dead first, I think it's going to be one hell of a year for music wise.
It sounds like it. At least, you know, it sounds like you're just one busy guy. You've always got something on the plate.
You know, it is the only thing I have going on. It's the only thing I enjoy doing. I don't watch. I'm boring. I don't watch sports. I'm not a drinker. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke weed. I go to work. I come home, and I do my music thing. That's it. It's the only thing I do. You know, and it's sad, but it's the only thing I really enjoy doing. My downtime is being on stage for 45 minutes.
That's awesome.
People look at me like you're crazy. What do you mean that's your downtime? Your downtime is when you're kicking back the rest out. That's my boring time. I want to be on stage. Well, you know, and actually, people do. They get mad at me because they I want to be on stage. I don't want to be doing this shit. I want to be on stage. I don't want to be in the rehearsal. I don't want to go. I don't want to be. I want to be on stage. Whatever puts me on stage, that's where I'm going. So.
I like that.
That's just the way I am, because I got that taste in my mouth again. And then it was funny. We did a show down in Jersey at a place called the Blue Room, and it was the first show in like 2 years for Shadow's Edge. And there wasn't a lot of people there. There was maybe 20 people in there. And before we went on, the bands before us, you know, and they were paying attention to the bands.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, we come out, we get on the stage, and this is the first time we've really been together. I mean, we did like 2 or 3 rehearsals, you know, but there was, you know, it's hitting this thing, this guy can't show up this time, you know, so they were half-ass rehearsals. We went out, and those 20 people that were in the audience, I swear to God, I'd rather play to them people every night than a room full of 300 people that are just standing at the bar. You know, it's like the children to walk up to the stage. These kids that came off and they were dancing, and there was only 2 girls, so the room was full of guys, and with 2 girls in the audience, and these guys were up there singing. They're trying to sing, they don't know the words, but they're dancing and having a great time. They made it so fun for us to where it's like, oh my God, let's go do this every night. You know what I mean? And seriously, I'd rather play to them 20 people than go to another place that's packed. And people just don't give a shit. They're up against the bar, you know what I'm saying?
It happens a lot of times, too.
Yeah, it does happen a lot of times. I mean, there's a lot of times we go go to shows, and it's like, especially at the chance up on me. I mean, it's safe to say with the DWI things today, and people are afraid to drive and this, that, and the other thing because they're going to get pulled over. I mean, it's a quick fix. All you got to do is get yourself a designated driver. But the DWI rate these days is destroying the music business because nobody wants to come out. Nobody wants to come out, and when they do, the people that do come out, thank God they're coming out, but 99% of the time, it's just standing they're all by the bar watching a football game, this, that, or the other thing. You know, the live music today, it's really difficult.
It is.
Once in a while, you get a decent crowd, but it's pretty sad out there right now.
Like last summer, in June, we did a Brutiful Metal Fest, and we had 17 bands from all over come here to Alabama, where we're located at. And, I mean, we had them from upstate New York City, as far west as West Texas, all come down here and put on a show. And, you know, a lot of times you got to deal with shady club owners, and we had dealt with one of those. I'm not going to name him or anything. I don't, you know, keep all that out. But 2 weeks prior to the show, he backs out, so we had to hurry up and find another one. Well, you know, we were out here promoting and everything, because this area, you know, we were hoping to bring metal to it, and we did. And we have Fort Rucker, which is the Army Aviation Post, like a mile up the road. And we had a lot of those guys, you know, the Army guys, they love metal, they were going to come out. Unfortunately, the post got locked down, and because we had to change venue at the last minute, a lot of the people, you know, we didn't get as good a crowd as we thought we were going to, but it was a 3-day event. The first night we had 60. And those 60 were just balls out into it. I mean, it was so nice. Then the next night we had, I think we had on and off between 20 and 30, and they were into it. And the last night we had roughly 10 to 15, and it was still good. It wasn't what you would consider bartenders, band members, and girlfriends. You know, I mean, we actually had, you know, the patrons came in, and like you said, I would rather be able to play or put on a show for those hardcore people to come in there and have a good time than have that packed house where everybody's just hanging out at the bar, playing the jukebox, you know, milling around, shooting pool, and not paying attention to the bands. I mean, the whole focus from those that showed up was the bands that were playing, and they were all indie. Every one of them was unsigned acts, and not one of them sucked. And you know, it was a great time. People enjoyed it, and in fact, we're getting hit up now for this year's.
Well, you know what? Get us on there.
Say again?
I'll get us on there. I'll bring my pre-bands out.
Hell yeah!
There you go.
You know, just shoot me the link and we'll set it up, and you know, we'll come out and play.
Well,
Not a problem.
Thank you, Joey. Well, there you go.
I'll go write it on the board.
She's gonna go put it on the board now.
She's gonna do what?
She's gonna write it on the board now.
Oh, she's gonna write it on the board now? No,
Yeah,
send it to me through a Facebook message so I have it, because
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
do that too.
right now I gotta remember it. After I see this board, I'm not gonna know it.
Well,
Follow up.
she'll send you an email or a message and give you the details.
Alright, that's cool. Actually, I can hear her in the background. She said she'll follow up on it.
Yes. Yeah, she's real good about that. Now,
Okay.
talk to us about the bands. Let me get back over to my notes. Shadow's Edge. How did that start up, and what kind of music does that one entail?
Shadow's Edge started in late 99. Shadow's Edge started out, like I was telling you before, from two members of another band, and they came and approached me, and they pretty much had all the main players outside of the drummer. They asked me to do it, and like I said, I didn't play for like 2 years or 3 years. I gave up playing for a little while, and Shadow's Edge came from there. Now Shadow's Edge consisted of friend of mine, Marty, my singer who's still in the band right now, Tommy Diana, and then the guitar player, the other guitar player was a friend of mine called Tommy Phillips. Now, we all got together, and, you know, it was right after the 80s. Everybody was still stuck in the 80s, and everybody wanted to do, like, 80s type metal, like Priest, Maiden, and stuff like that. So, you know, between Tommy and the other Tommy, they came up with most of the licks and the lyrics, and me and Marty were just the, how do you say, the driving force behind it.
Right.
You know what I mean? They did what they did, and we did what we did, and, you know, Shadow Edge took off from there. So it's like heavy rock, metal, like, it's not heavy metal, but it's, I don't know, I consider it metal, like 80s type metal, hair music, stuff like that. Greg Woods just came about because of a friend of mine, Richie Scarlett. Greg used to hang out with Richie all the time, and Richie decided to produce an album for Greg, and, you know, Greg had no musician, so Richie pulled a couple of his friends into the studio, and Greg basically, Greg, and Richie's actual drummer right now did the whole CD, and when it was done, Greg had nobody to do it, so Greg asked me about, you know, like, said, how can you go about getting a band together? I said, come on, let's just put one together. So I wasn't doing the Shadow Edge thing right there and then. And actually, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It was first Obsidian that I did that with.
Okay.
I wanted to play, and Obsidian, basically, when Shadow Edge was on its downtime, I took the bass player at the time, Dino. I found my original guitar player, Tommy Phillips, who was in Shadow's Edge. I found him. Well, actually, he moved back to New York. I got a good friend of mine, Donnie Schilling, another guitar player, friend of mine, Donnie, who was in a band called Disorderly Conduct with me. And I called them all up and said, hey, you want to have some fun for a little while? Let's put a band together. So we did that. And in the midst of doing that, Greg Woods got a hold of me and asked me about putting together a band. So I was doing basically the two bands at the same time. And it's pretty funny. We did once the two bands started going a little bit, and we got the girl singer Terry. Once we got that all set together, and we had I'd say 5 songs, and with Obsidian, and Greg Woods had his selection of songs that he wanted to do off his album. And I booked a show at this place called Brian's Backyard Barbecue, which is a really amazing place. And, you know, I figured I'd double bill with 2 bands, and I'll do it with another guitar player who used to play in Shadow Edge with us to do fill-ins, my good friend Joey Campo. His band's called Lucky House. So I had Lucky House go on first. Then, if I'm not mistaken, it was Obsidian that went on after that. Then we did the Greg Woods, and just so happens my other 2 guitar players from Shadow's Edge happened to show up. They miraculously had their equipment in their car because maybe I told them to bring it. So that was the beginning of getting everybody back together. So at that show, I played in 3 bands that night, and let me tell you something. It was a long night, but it was a lot of fun, and it's just great. And the good part about all those bands we're in, the 3 bands I'm in, is everybody's friends. So it's not like, oh, my band's better than yours, this one's better. We all go, we all support each other, we all have a good time. And the bottom line is, it's all about having fun.
That's it.
And if you're not going to have fun, which at times, I'm telling you, being in 3 bands and listening to everybody at the same time, it's like, why am I doing this? It can get pretty intense because you got 4 guys in one band, you got 5 people in another band, then you got another 5 people in the band, and it's just like, between all 14 people, it's like, oh, sometimes you just want to kill everybody. It just sucks, because everybody's got a different opinion, and it's like, I don't claim to know everything, it's just I've been doing this for so long, shut up, leave me alone, let me do You know, and I try to tell everybody, being in 3 bands, I try to tell everybody, I don't want to be the boss, but let me book the shows, please, because if somebody books a show, the same day I got another show booked, you know, it gets intense, and then next year, forget about it. Next year, if like these other 2 things take off like I think they're going to, which is in the workings right now, it's just going to be like, it's going to be too much. I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm sitting here trying to figure that all in my head right now.
Okay.
But only the best prevail, they say, so we'll see what happens.
But I really agree with what you said. You know, you got to have fun at what you're doing. I'm a musician myself. I play guitar. And I have a couple bands, and, you know, we're kind of taking a hiatus because it started getting to be to the point where it's a job. And, you know, when it starts feeling like that, I feel like you need to back off a little bit, take a breather so it's fresh. You can come back, new ideas, and revitalized.
Right. When it becomes like work, then it is no sense in doing it, because that changes our playground. And if we're going to go to the playground, and we're going to be like being bullies and being nasty to everybody, what the fuck is the sense of doing it? Excuse my French. What's the sense of doing it? I want to go to the playground and I want to have a good time.
Exactly.
And if people outside the playground see us having a great time on our playground, then they're going to want to join in. They're going to want to come down, and they want to hang out. They're going to be on stage, oh, my life sucks, and this, that, and the other thing, and I had a bad day at work. You know what? Leave it at the door. We're here to have fun. You know, sometimes it's hard to get it through people's heads, and once that starts up, because now I'm getting to the point where, okay, you got me started, now let me run with the ball. Now I'm getting that from a couple of different people, and it's just like, listen, let's take baby steps. Let's have fun doing it. People are starting to take it too serious. It's all about having fun. And when you get that serious, you gotta pull back a little bit. You gotta back off a little bit, because, you know, that's where everybody gets angry at everybody, and it gets nasty. And if it's gonna be nasty and it ain't fun doing it, what are you wasting your time for?
Exactly.
And I don't like it getting like that, and it started to get like that a couple of times, and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. It gets a little scary. I mean, between your personal life and band life, once things start getting shaky, then if we get shaky on both ends, I mean, you need your little release. And that band thing is my release. If that's rocky and I can't have that to depend on, what do I do? That's my release. That's my sanity. That takes me out of my everyday life, and it's like, I need that, and it gets rocky. I go nuts in my head. I hate that, and that's what it started doing. But things finally are now starting to simmer down a little bit, because I'm getting off my high horse and letting people take control. Let other people take control. Just tell me where and when to be, and that's it. And that's what we're gonna do.
You know, the bands I've been in, we've always had kind of a rule to try to keep that at bay. I mean, you know, attitudes happen. You know, people get mad at other people's pet peeves. But we always had a rule that when you get into the band room, the outside world does not come in the band room with us.
No.
But what we make in the band room, we take to the outside world.
Right, exactly. I agree 100%. When you come to the band room, take you 5 minutes, get it all out of your system, smoke a cigarette, drink a beer, whatever your cheat is, and leave everything outside the door. Because when you go in that room, go in with a clear mind. Because if you're going to bring your problems in, your problems are going to stay in that room. And that gets pretty bad. And this time for me, I tried my best to leave some of my shit at home. But sometimes you can't, you got to take the listen. See, listen, I'm lucky, because I get to beat up on something and not get in any trouble, so I can take it out on that. You know what I mean? Instead of screaming and yelling my head off or being mad at everybody, sometimes I can just sit there and just, you know, go into my own little world and get sure of drums. That's the only thing I'm allowed to beat up on without getting in any trouble. But I get in trouble doing that anyway, so screw it. Believe me, there's a lot of times I take myself in either the hand, my head, and I'm like, damn, I'm glad I'm not the drum, especially being in a bad mood. It hurts. It hurts. You don't realize you're hitting something that hard. It's funny, the other night we were at rehearsal, and we're using a snare drum. I think it was one of the snare drums in a rehearsal room. That poor thing, I felt bad I had things on my mind, and it's just like, I thought I was going through it. I thought I was going to tear a hole right through it, but I'm surprised that head kept up. That head kept up. I felt bad for it. I almost wanted to, take it, rub it, and say, I'm sorry, beat you up, because that's how hard I was hitting it. And I wasn't hitting it with the normal end of the stick, I was hitting it with the thick end of the stick, and it was just like,
But like you said though, it's the release area. It's the what's the hell the word I'm looking for here? It's the winding down, the relaxation. I find music meditative because you can sit there and I'll play the same riff over and over and just get lost in it. The decompression chamber. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, yeah, no, that works too. You know what my real downtime is? At the end of the show, I take all my gear and I bring it over to a corner. I have that 10 minutes to break everything down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everybody comes up to me, can I give you a hand? No, just give me my time to myself. Just leave me alone, give me my time to myself. Once in a great move, the other night we played, it's funny, Bruce, we actually did, my friend Greg Woods had, he works at Dick's Sporting Goods. So they have a family and friends night, and they wanted him to support the entertainment. So two of the bands, the Greg Woods Project and Obsidian went. And the cool part about that was, once in a blue moon, my son will come to the show. But at the end of that night, and normally again, here I go with, I'd like to break down stuff myself. The 10-year-old, my 11-year-old son, I'm wrong, comes up to me and goes, Daddy, I'm going to help you. And I was, you know what? Dude, that made me just feel so great that my son wanted to be part of it and help out taking down. Either that or if he wanted to get out of there real quick. So he freaked out. But it was just so cool. I actually had him standing behind me and I'm chit-chatting with him. I'm turning my head. I'm looking at him back there. And it's cool because, like tonight, the reason why we got on so late was because, my son had his concert and I always told him, you're doing your concert? No matter what it is, I'm there. And it just so happened last night I happened to look on the calendar and we figured out, oh my God, kid's got a school concert tonight. I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? And I'm like, oh man, well I got to go do this. And thank God, you guys are like aces out there. You got someone else said, you know what? We'll just schedule for a little later on tonight. You take care of the family, and I really love that. Not just that, it's really super cool for you guys to do. And I'm just glad it all worked out. And my son, he played great. And I got to see him last year's concert. When I seen him, he was just playing the xylophone. They call it the bells. But this year he was playing the snare drum, and it was just like so cool watching him. Even though I only seen his head, but I'd heard him in the whole night. It was just it makes it worthwhile. But I never pushed him into doing drumming. He came, he goes, Dad, they gave me a list of stuff. This was last year. Do I want to play this? Do I want to play this? I said, dude, you pick whatever you want to play. He played the flute, clarinet. I don't care what he plays. As long as he made his own decision, and it wasn't me going, oh, gotta play the drums, oh, gotta play the, because it didn't make a world of difference. It was just he turned around and goes, Dad, I want to play percussion. I'm like, all right, that's what you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do. And it's just so cool watching him. And then once in a while, I'll have a drum set set up in the house. I got 3 drum sets, and only once in a while I have them set up. It's so cool. I sit there and I got Tyler's pads on it, and he'll sit there and he'll just start playing away. And it's great. I love every minute of that. I wish to God he'd follow in my footsteps. But if he doesn't,
Makes you a proud papa, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes me very proud. It's funny. My oldest son, Kevin, he was in, like your really raw metal bands, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like he was a bass player in one of them. And let me tell you something. This kid, he comes up to me, goes, just wanted to just get into playing this, that, and the other thing. And his band, he wanted to go on tour, and he was just in college. He comes up to me, goes, Joe, I got a chance, an opportunity to go on tour with my band. What do you think I should do? Kevin, how old are you? I said, 22. Just do me a favor. Get in that fucking band and go have a blast. Because that's the only thing touring all over the place, this, that, the other thing when I was younger. And, you know, it's something I missed out on. And you know, he asked me, and I'm just like, go, have a great time. He was a bass player. Let me tell you something. I went to one of his shows up here. And again, I'm not into the where I don't understand what they're saying, but the music-wise, it's great. But I went to see his band, and seeing my son's bass on stage, his stage presence, his attitude on stage, phenomenal. I would love to form a band with my son, but he's too busy right now, and he was just like, he just had it. You know when they just have it, when somebody just has it on stage and their presence in the whole 9 yards. My son Kevin had that, and it was just like, damn. I was so proud of him, and you know, it's pretty cool because he turns around and he goes, you know, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. And it's like, just like, go kid, go, knock yourself out and have a field day.
Right on.
You know, he wasn't playing drums. He wanted to play bass, so I bought him his first bass, got him the book on it, and you know, watched him progress as he was doing it, and then really seeing him up on stage doing his thing, and just the stage presence, and he had the right attitude on stage. It's just like, damn, where did this kid come from? And then he gets off the stage, and he's like the nicest, sweetest guy you want to talk to, well mannered, the whole 9 years, but up on stage, like the bass. Yeah, it's just amazing. It was just amazing, and it's not only because it's my kid, because there was we did an open mic, which I'm not fond of doing, but we did an open mic at that place, Brian's Backyard Barbecue.
Right.
And actually, I think we were debuting Obsidian. And my singer's friend's daughter, who I believe, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11, she was a singer guitar player, you know, and this kid got up there and she did her own little thing and she was playing, and I was just blown away by it. Seeing kids today doing stuff like that, and seeing them enjoy the music. Granted, they're nervous and they mess up. She was 12. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Just seeing them up there doing what they do and just enjoying themselves, making mistakes or whatever, but they're up there doing it. I was just like so happy to see that. Guys, girls, whatever, and we're at the chance one day, and one of these bands got up there, and the drummer, he's a kid. He ended up being, I think he was 11, if I'm not mistaken, same age as my son. This young band gets up there, and I'm like, okay, here we go. This is gonna be a trip. And, you know, and they opened up with Led Zeppelin rock and roll.
Oh wow!
And this little kid's up there playing his ass off, and I'm like, go! I'm like, oh my God! And then the next band, the people in the next band weren't too much older, but it was a female drummer, and I'm just like blown away. I love watching these people, the young kids today, go out there and break their ass and get up there and be proud of what they do, what they're doing. It's just watching little kids do it. It just brings me back to the days when, you know, possibly the way my uncle felt when I was got behind the drums and I was playing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my uncle felt proud, you know, watching the kids. It's just great. I'm not trying to date myself, or I just love it. It's great. Helping them or not helping them, just seeing kids up there doing it just amazes me, because that's the next generation, and it's so great. It's so cool. I know I must be babbling on, sound like an idiot, but
Nah.
just watching the kids today, it's so much fun. You know, starting from my own personal kids doing their thing to other people's kids. They don't even know. And let me tell you something. Like what happened to the girl drummer. She was playing her drums, and one of her toms fell off. So at the place I play all the time, the chant, I'm always there. So it's like I'm part of the woodwork to play. So you know, I run up on stage, I put the drum back on, and this, that, and the other thing, got it all locked in, tightened up for her. She was good to go. You know, it's great being able to help out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a couple of neighbors around here by me. Younger kids. They were in high school, you know, dance school, blackout. And I actually happened to catch one of their shows I think they were playing at a little street fest down the hill from my house. And, you know, I would run into the kids once in a while down at the store by me, and, you know, they had, Joe, can you do me a favor? Can you get us into the chance and have us play there? So they worked out to where at one show they were looking for another band, and I said, listen, I got this younger kid and younger guys. They were in like 10 to 11 to 12th grade, I believe, somewhere in those numbers. And I got them into the chance, and the kids, they got up there. They have a girl drummer, and it was just, you know, I got them up there, and it was like that first major show, and they had all of their friends there, this, that, and the other thing. They were scared shitless, but they had so much fun. They enjoyed themselves, and it's not that I ever wanted to pat them like that. I was glad to be able to help them out. You know what I mean? I actually, we were supposed to go to Chicago 2 years ago. The band Shadows Edge, and something happened where my bass player couldn't do it at the time, my friend Vino. And I actually took one of the kids from that band Blackout. I'm like, dude, listen, I need a bass player. Here's 7 songs. Learn them. We're going to Chicago. Wound up was, I got hit up by a record label, management company, Venom Records, which, you know, things didn't work out between us, but I talked to the people all the time. They're really super nice people. But, you know, this kid was in like amazement. Oh, man, we're getting a record contract and we're going to go to Chicago. We're just going to Chicago to play with a couple of buddies of mine that were out there. And that, you know, through Facebook, this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, this kid, it's like, I'm ready to go talk to my parents. I got to see, I'm thinking about going to college, and I got to put things on hold, this, and the other thing. Because she was more excited about the Venom Records thing, which it would have worked out at the time if the time is right. Just the timing between us and Venom Records wasn't right, and things dispersed again with the Shadows Edge thing. We took time off, and because everybody was a little upset because the Venom Records thing didn't work out. But Johnny went back to Blackout, and you know, all the times I go to the chance when I see them guys play there, I'm not one for going to see shows that often, but whenever they play around, you know, just because they're younger than me and I see the new talent, I just want to get out there and support them and back them up and help them.
Of course.
We're a bunch of old fogies, so to them, we're prehistoric. You know what I mean? But they come out, they watch us play. It's just, I don't know, getting back to the kid thing, I just think it's awesome. And I wish I was in a better position to help more kids out to do the music thing. You know, just to keep them out of trouble, keep them off drugs, or whatever the case may be. I wish there was a way, something I could do personally more for them. You know, all of these schools that are cutting out their music education things because of lack of funding. You know what? Let's teach our kids football and beating the shit out of each other on the field. Well, let's teach kids music. Come on. It's brainless. They cut something else out. Leave music in here, because music is part of everybody's life. You know, that's just a person. You know, and, you know, Gene Simmons, you know, love him or hate him, the guy does a lot for kids' schools. I forget what it was, I've seen that they did. And they called up Fender, and they called up this, that, and the other thing for, I know what it was. It was actually, they were doing, what's that show, where they pull a bus up in front of the house, and they revamped the house because people got no money, this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Kiss was on that show. I can't think of the name, but oh my God, it's killing me. And they actually donated to the children's school a friend of guitars, a bunch of guitars, brand new friend of guitars. I mean, I'm seeing van load of stuff that they brought to their school. This guy was a music teacher. It was just amazing. I mean, I wish I was in that position to help kids out like that. It's pretty awesome. And I wish to God I was in a position. So any little bit I could do to help out, you know, whatever. You know, like the little girl who was on stage that night, I turned around and said, "Listen, you want somebody to play drums?" And she was like, No, I want to do this all on my own. So, you know, I backed off. I moved right over to the side of the stage, stopped the it just in case. And, you know, I just watched her play. You know, it's just like, it's amazing. It was amazing. I wish somebody would watch me like I watch these kids.
Now, you know, you mentioned earlier, you know, how you was really appreciated how, you know, we're family oriented, and we are very. Family always comes first with us. I mean, everything else is secondary. Family is more important than anything. And I've got two children myself. My oldest daughter, she'll be 20 in February. My younger one is 15. My oldest one sings. My younger one plays drums, and my younger one's a natural. I mean, I set her behind a kit for the very first time, and she started holding a 4/4 beat. I was shocked.
It takes us 5 years to learn it, and they learn it in 3 seconds.
And that's the alarm system again. That's my alarm system. The littlest one's the loudest. Like I said, it's completely like Wild Kingdom in our house, man. We've got 4 dogs and a couple cats, and if I left it up to the wife, we'd probably have 20 dogs, you know, 40 cats, a couple giraffes, a baboon or 2.
Well, I loves the animals. And they loves me. You know they find me.
It'd be like a combination of wildlife sanctuary, animal refuge, shelter, zoo, all the above.
And vet service.
And vet service, that's right.
That's great. We'll get right back to what you were saying about your kids. But, you know, you're talking about the little dogs are the worst and the loudest.
I'm sorry, one more time?
I said we'll get right back to you. You were just talking about your kids.
Oh, yeah.
You had one of your kids on the drum set, and they were natural. And then your dog started barking, and you turned around and said the littlest one is the most loudest.
That is correct.
One day, I had a poodle, little white poodle.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Great Dane. And it's funny, I live in a bi-level house. So when you walk in my front door, you can either go down the stairs, and then there's a landing right to your left-hand side, right about 10 level. So what happened is, when somebody would knock on the door, the poodle would run around behind the couch, which is right at your level with people, and then the Great Dane would sit at the top of the steps. So people would walk in my door, see the Great Dane, back up to the corner of basically where the floor is, and out of nowhere, the little dog would come up, bite him in the ear. How great was that? The Great Dane is just sitting there, I didn't do nothing, and you can't blame this one on me, and meanwhile, the poodle biting everybody in the ear. The little dogs are bastards. Let me tell you.
They are.
They are. And they hurt like a mofo when they bite you.
I've got the 4 dogs we have. The oldest one is a Cairn Terrier, like Toto from Wizard of Oz.
Right.
He's 13, and then the next in line is the little one. She's a miniature Chihuahua, and she runs the house. And then I've got a half pit, half Catahoula cur, which Catahoula cur is a Louisiana native dog. They consider it the first breed. They also call them the Catahoula leopard dog. And they're believed to be the direct descendants of DeSoto's dog when he first came over and explored the Florida Parish region. You know, all the Florida Basin, Mobile, Alabama, Biloxi, Mississippi, Louisiana, all that lower section. And I've got her pup, which is bigger than she is. Her dad was or is the great-great-grandson of Hooch from the movie Turner and Hooch.
Really?
Yes. So she's got that bull mastiff mixed with her mama. And this dog is 90 pounds of dog.
Really?
And when I come home in the evening, I'll sit down in my chair, and there's no subtlety with her. She doesn't just kind of ease up in your lap. She bounces like Tigger. So you get 90 pounds all at once.
Really? That's cool. That gets a hurt when they do that, too.
It's a lot of dogs, let me tell you. But no, what I was getting at with my kid, yeah, she started picking up a 4/4 beat right away, which amazed me. You know, I mean, she's got the musical blood. You know, my father, my grandfather, my great grandfather, we all play, you know, some form of music, and I had some friends. I'm not a drummer myself, and I don't know really anything. If I get behind a kit, it's good for a comedy act. I'll put it that way. But but I had some friends of mine, you know, that are pretty good drummers. They started off in school, you know, learning poly beats and paradiddles and, you know, things like that. And we're showing her different stuff, and, you know, she's gotten pretty good.
That's cool. That's super cool.
It is, you know, it's always nice, you know, seeing a kid pick up and you see the gears clicking in their head, how everything works when they get it.
You know why that happened? That's because when mommy was carrying him in the belly,
Mm-hmm.
sitting upstairs, we were downstairs beating everything up and playing as loud as we can. So the vibration got the kid. That's how they got it in their blood.
Right.
In their blood. As they were being formed.
Now, going back to what you also mentioned about school, I agree with you 200% that they could drop back on some other programs, but
Exactly. I'm not just pinpointing football. They can jump back on some other stuff and keep their music in there, because music is, you know, teaches kids a lot, a shitload. It's not only playing an instrument, but it teaches them counting and time and reading, and it teaches them everything that school teaches you, basically, outside of history. But then again, once you start learning your instrument, you learn about the history of it. So basically, you know what I mean? I think it's just not drop it out of school.
you know, learning music, like you said, you know, it's sneaky in a way, because you learn math, because you got to learn time signatures. You know, you learn English through it if you write lyrics.
Patience.
Oh, definitely patience, focus, discipline, having to, you know, get the instrument down correctly. Hours of practice. You know, it teaches you a good work ethic. Plus, it opens your mind up. You know, it opens your mind to so many avenues of thought.
Exactly. Without a doubt. And, you know, it's not only even, you can get into the music business end of it. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to, it keeps you interested in school. Then you got to go to school, and you got to do more. It teaches you working together with people in groups. You know what I mean? It's like teamwork. It helps you out in more ways than just, you know, something too simple together in a band or blowing into a pipe. You understand what I'm saying? It teaches you so much. I can't believe that, you know, a lot of these schools are cutting it out. I mean, if they cut it out of the school district here, I don't show up for school things. That I will show up for.
I don't know. I think part of a well-rounded education has to include some form of art and music. It has to. It makes a more well-rounded individual once the child grows up. You know, it did wonders for me when I was that age. It really did.
Well, people wonder that about me. What did music do for me? It's screwed me up, some people think, but it did a lot for me. It did a lot for me. It keeps me focused. It keeps me going. So, yeah.
Well, you know, whenever I picked up an instrument, I was in my early teens, and you know how it is. You're going through all that angsty rebellion, and
I got into the band thing because there was women involved in it. You know what I mean? There was
right.
women at the end of the tunnel, and I thought I would always be a rock star. Guess what? All that came back and bit me in the ass.
But see, the really cool thing, I had really awesome parents, and they supported me. In fact, my mom told me when I first started playing, if you want me to think that you're good, you've got to play Johnny Be Good for me one day. Which I did like a year later, you know. But they were very supportive of it, and they preferred you know, having a band come over and making noise than running the streets and smoking dope and drinking beer and driving and getting in all kind of trouble. They knew where we were all the time, what we were up to, and it was very conducive, you know. It was very conducive for a childhood growing up from that aspect. And it's great seeing kids doing it nowadays.
I'm sorry. I just got sidetracked. Say it again. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm terribly sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. I said, you know, my parents were really cool about the fact that we were able to jam at the house because they were. It was better for them if we were staying there jamming instead of running the streets, smoking dope, drinking beers, driving, getting into trouble. They knew where we were. They knew what we were up to. You know.
Right. No, without a doubt. You know, it's funny. I only rehearsed here at my house, I think, once. In all the years of playing, I think I actually had a band in my house once. My grandmother was living with me. The one that brought me to Charlottesville. Swear to God, she wishes she never did. God rest her soul, she's no longer here. But all my playing pretty much was at somebody else's house or somebody's parents that at the time were really cool because they let us play, or in just some garage somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something played in my house outside of just rehearsing.
Well, I noticed in your pictures. I want to talk about your equipment. You use strictly Mapex, right?
I use Mapex and Pearl. Mapex and Pearl drums. Those are my two drums of choice. I use Lipton cymbals, all custom A's. I have a Pacey 20-inch ride. I'm fully endorsed through Evans drum heads. I use, for my bass pedals, I use DW 5000 and 9000s. My hi-hat stands are DW 9000. And I'm endorsed through Hot Sticks, so I get my sticks through them. So.
Now, do you utilize two kick drums or one?
It depends on the venue. If the venue's going to be small, I'll use a double bass pedal. You know what I mean? A lot of venues, a lot of times, I don't even bring my drums. I got to use whichever in the club. Outside of the chance, the one club that I used to bring my equipment for all the time was a place called the Blue Room, but they went out and they got a 5-piece kit. So a lot of times I've been doing more double bass pedals than I've been doing my double bass kit. I prefer to bring my double bass kit because there's, I don't know, something about it. I prefer to use double bass kit.
Now, have you ever had a chance to try out the those Demon Drive pedals?
The what?
The Demon Drive pedals. Have you had a chance to try those out?
No, who makes them?
Oh God.
Pearl.
I believe it's Pearl. It's a double pedal setup, and I've got a couple friends of mine that utilize those. That they say they float really well. It's almost effortless doing double bass on them.
I would have to try them out. All kidding aside, I bought a double bass Tama Iron Cobra double bass set pedals from one of my nephews. Let me tell you something. I never thought in a million years I'd like them pedals. Them things are sweet. I'm almost looking to put my DWs aside and go out and use Tama all the time for the bass pedals. I think they're one of the best pedals I've ever used in my life. I've used every pedal that you can ever imagine. I mean, I was thinking about trying. Apex came out with a set called Falcon, and I wanted to try them out, but I don't know. The double bass pedal I use all the time. It's Tama Iron Cobra. That freaking thing is sweet. I mean, free flowing, quick response. I don't know what it is or what they did to them, and I'm a definite DW man. I mean, when the DW 5000 first came out and I could finally afford a pair, I mean, Eric Carr got me into the DW 5000. It was just like, damn, I got them things. I've had them for almost 16 years, and I still use them today. And then the 9000s. I got them, and they were okay. I mean, I actually used the 9000s for our first Shadow Bit show. But when I'm out playing and I can only bring what I can bring, I enjoy using the 10 or 9000s. But I'll look into those pearls. I'll go check them out. Somebody's got to have them.
Yeah, the Demon Drive pedals, they're all mechanical. There's no chain drive or anything on them. And I've got one friend that uses the DW5000s, and he switched over, and he absolutely loves them. And another one that uses the Iron Cobras, and same thing. He tried them out on my other friend's drum kit, and he says, "Man, you can just sneeze at them things, and you'll start getting a double pedal kick on it."
That's cool.
You know,
I gotta look into them. The Pearl makes them, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to check them out.
Let's see.
Definitely gonna have to check them out.
Now, I had Odd Rage ask a question earlier, and I'm sorry it's taking me so long to get to it, Odd Rage, but he was wanting to know if you do studio work.
I haven't really done any studio work outside of the stuff I do with the bands. I haven't gone in and just, sat in on somebody's session. I haven't been hired to do any studio work like that. I never really got into doing that because I'm more of a, I want to be on stage. I don't want to sit in the studio unless I have to. Or unless they pay me a shitload of money. I hope that answers his question.
It'll work.
Being in the studio is sometimes a pain in the ass. If you're not getting paid to do it, or you're not doing it for yourself, you can spend some hours in there.
Now, do you guys have any upcoming shows at all?
Greg Woods has a show at the Jams on December 14th. Shadow's Edge has a show at the Blue Room in New Jersey, January 4th. And then we got another show, Shadow's Edge got another show at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, January 25th. And I'm actually going to book a triple bill for all three of my bands at Ryan's Backyard Barbecue. I'm just waiting for him to get back to me on a date on that.
Right.
And Obsidian's going to be pushed out there. We just have a little bit more work to do on a couple of more songs just to brush up on, and then we'll start getting them back up there too.
Well, you heard that. They're upstate New York folks. Got a handful of shows coming up. So get off your ass and go support a local artist and check you out some metal.
There you go.
Now, I'm going to see if we have anybody out in the chat room that has any questions. I usually, toward the end of the interviews, I'll usually have people that'll ask questions from the chat room.
Okay. I'm looking at it right now. I have some more.
Let's see. Sarah, one of our DJs, is asking, where are you?
I am in Monroe, New York. Orange County.
There you go.
I don't know if they're asking me questions or asking my singer the questions, one or the other.
Well, yeah, the singer just answered too, so...
Yeah, no, I see that.
She got the answer.
Get off the damn thing, it's my show, damn it.
He's stealing your thunder.
Huh?
Said he's stealing your thunder.
Yeah, of course.
But, vocalists usually do that. Yeah, I guess it's part of the gig, right? Oh, he apologized. Now, are you guys going to be going in the studio and doing any recording anytime soon?
Matter of fact, that's a tricky question. How do I say this and put it politely? Yes, I am, but it's going to be one of the things in 2013. I actually have to a friend of mine reached out to me, was it yesterday or the day before, asking me to record 3 songs for their record label because their drummer was not going to be able to help them out for that. So early 2013, I'll be in the studio with a friend of mine's band, which will be all announced on Facebook. I cannot say nothing right this second.
That's no problem.
About which one that is, and then another thing fell into my lap, which is a dear friend of mine called me up and said, I'm going to do your idea. I want to do my metal tunes. And he just called me at the right time, and I was just like, hell yeah, let's do it. And he wants to record all of them. He wants to do a full-length album. So 2013 is pretty much going to be a whole lot of studio time between all 5, 6 of the bands. I'm going to be in there for quite some time.
Right on. Well, I'll tell you...
That's them, dude. I'm not dissing any vocalists. Everybody's great. Because without the vocalist, there wouldn't be a band. Without a drummer, there wouldn't be a band. Without a guitar player, there wouldn't be a band. So, I never diss anybody, so I apologize if you think I am. I'm just playing because I know them very well.
Well, I want to say this. You know, whenever you release with those projects, I'd love to have you back on the show, and we can discuss that at that time. We're going to go ahead and...
As soon as those other 2 things, they pop up, I just want to make sure that happens. As long as they happen, then I'll hit you back up, man. I got your phone number, so I'll probably call you every other day and say, hey, dude, what's up? You know what I mean? So, I got your phone number now. That's your first mistake.
There you go.
Just tell me you're big deals out there, so...
You got our number, man. Call us up anytime, you know.
I got the number. Is that your wife, Buffy?
Yes.
Okay, well, I can hit her up on Facebook. I don't know if you're on Facebook. I don't know. I got 5,000 friends, but I don't know who's my friend and who's not. You don't message me. I don't know who my friends are.
Well, I think I've got you set up on there. I'll send you a message over so you'll know who I am.
Okay.
But
That's cool.
I want to go ahead and start getting this wrapped up. I'm not sure what you got. I know it's getting late your side, and you had a pretty busy evening.
Let me ask you some questions. Where are you at?
Say again?
Where are you out of?
We're out of Daleville, Alabama. It's in southeast Alabama. We're about an hour directly north from Panama City Beach.
Oh, okay. Very good. Okay, because I wasn't sure where the show was exactly out of. But,
we're down here, as the locals say, we're in Alabama.
You're in Alabama?
Alabama. Hey, Joey, did you...
Maybe one day we'll get out to Alabama and we'll just, again, we'll just have a blast.
Right on. Now, I want to ask you a question. Did you know that the toothbrush was actually invented here in Alabama?
Alright, this is a joke, right?
It could be.
Okay, it sounds like it's leading up to be a joke. No, I did not know that toothbrush was made in Alabama. It's a concept thing from Alabama. Anywhere
else, it would have been called a teeth brush.
They call it a toothbrush?
Actually,
it's for all your teeth. I got it. I'm not that slow. Or that old.
I make fun a lot of times of Alabama, but I do. It's a nice area. The people here are nice. It is pretty country.
There's nothing wrong with it. Home is home, brother. Home is where your heart is.
That is so right. It is a nice area, but I love picking on them because I'm a big football fan as far as college ball goes, and I'm in enemy territory, so to speak, because everybody here loves Alabama University, and I'm a diehard LSU fan.
Oh, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that, and I take back saying anything about football people. I just think they get paid too much money for only playing for so long, throughout a year's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Baseball players, they get paid way too much money to play 3 months out of the year.
Oh, the pro ball players? Look,
oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. They get paid way too much money.
I am a veteran, and you know, when you look at what the military gets paid, and police officers and fire personnel, teachers even, and these guys out here are making millions upon millions of dollars playing a game, but yet you have all these people that are, you know, on the one hand putting their life on the line protecting us, and on the other side of the coin, they're the ones teaching our children. There's something very wrong with society in that facet.
Yep, look at all the poor people that risk their life, and all the firefighters that are going through the DS with that happen at the Trade Center, which they're all dying of cancer and this, that, and the other thing, and nobody wants to help them out. These people didn't ask to do their job; they had to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they're all paying for it right now. Anybody that was down at the Trade Center when it went down. So, how many firefighters lost their lives, and how many firefighters are losing their lives and deteriorating to nothing? And what do we do about it? Oh, our country, our country, our country. Don't get me wrong. I love our country and everything about it. But sometimes people do stupid things. You worry about other countries, and I mean, we blow up Iraq, and we can go over there and rebuild it and help them. But they can come over here, blow us up, and we tell the people that helped us out while we were going through that, sorry, we can't help you. We'll only give you a little bit of money. You don't want to get me started, and that's why I don't like talking about politics and shit like that.
I agree.
That shit just irritates me to see poor people that are going through what they're going through, and, oh, we don't have the money for that. We don't have the money for that, but we're going to get off that topic.
Yes. But just know I feel the same way.
Okay, good. All right, so we'll move on to saying good night, and thank everybody for coming into the chat room and talking, and Bob, I really appreciate talking to you, and your wife, thank you very much for having me on your radio show, and 2013, as soon as everything gets popping again, you know, I'll give you a call, we'll set up another thing, and we'll take it from there and have another good evening of chat.
Man, I'm looking very forward to that. If you would, stay on the phone for just a few. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pop some more music on. Now, I do want to thank everyone for coming in. I've got quite a few people here. We got, of course, Vixen, Sarah, DJ Outcast, Sam, Odd Rage, Obsidian Singer, and of course you, Joey. And we've got several people on the outside that are tuned in that are not in the chat room. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You have been listening to the Bullshit with Bob show right here on Brutiful Metal Radio with outstanding drummer Joey Campo. And again, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and coming talking with us. We really, really appreciate it.
Well, you've been so comfortable and, you know, welcome, and again, thank you very much. And it was definitely, even though I got a little nervous, you know, with the time change and everything else, you know, we got people in here, and thank you very much, and I'd be glad to come back as soon as whenever you guys want.
Well, you know,
set it up and
now that you've been on the Bullshit with Bob show, you're considered to be part of the Brutiful family now.
there we go.
So,
thank you very much, and you're part of our family too.
I appreciate that.
Have you want to send me those links for that outdoor festival you got, and, you know, we'll see what we can work out.
Well, like I said, I'm going to get Buffy sending you the info on that. And
Okay.
but right now, I'm going to go ahead and pop up some tunes. And let's see. I've got some Stormtroopers of Death. Some Motorhead. And how about a little bit of Hellstar?
There you go.
All right, folks. You're listening to Brutiful Metal Radio. And here we go. Some Stormtroopers of Death in your eye.